Fighting cards, summon cards, cooler fighting cards.
Sure, I'll give it to you. We'll have fun. No one cares anyways. Welcome to New Game Plus. This is a retro gaming podcast where three guys spend 7 days playing one old game and then we talk about it. My name's Dustin.
My name is Kenny.
Nolan.
And this is episode 532, and the summer pool party continues. In fact, we have another month of it.
I know. Isn't that exciting? I love when we make it like 2 months.
Yeah. Instead of just one like powerhouse,
back,
we spread it out over the entire summer.
I bought some of that aloe vera stuff in case I get sunburned.
Oh. Okay, that's fine. You can join Patreon and get into the summer pool party. How many more do we have? 4.
Yeah, ish. I don't want to make any promises.
Plenty. And I mean, you can submit 2 games and we might play it. So go to patreon.com.
Question of the week. What multiplayer game do you want to most play? Question of the week. What multiplayer game do you most want to play with your best friends?
I was going to raise my hand, but I'm not doing that bit this week. League of Legends.
Okay. I'm going to change the question if that's what we're doing.
You're not going to change the question.
What? That's a great answer.
That's a bad answer.
The truest answer in my heart, because it would be the funniest thing to all 3 play and be terrible, but also low-key be kind of good because it's muscle memory, and then it will be a flashback to the good old days.
Oh,
Don't make the face.
None of that is true, and none of that makes sense. You know that you would not have fun if we all 3 got in there and did terrible. You're competitive, and you want us to win, and would be raging at both Kenny and Kenny when we were trying to play together.
I would rage at Kenny but it'd be valid. Like, it's a valid crash out. And
that wouldn't be fun for you. I'm not saying it's not valid.
I'd have so much fun doing it.
It would be really funny. Going bot lane, Dustin, your Blitzcrank or Thresh.
Probably not even a meta anymore, and I never was Thresh. Kenny was Thresh.
No.
That's crazy.
Somebody was
Thresh
with me.
You're the hook boy.
But he has a hook is why I said, and I think we would be a powerhouse. I think people would want to watch us play, like our community, but that's my answer.
Bad game. Do people still play that?
Yeah, it's still huge. It's massive, dude.
Kenny?
Hey, I'll give you my entire thought process.
Oh God, he's gonna say League.
There's a million ways to answer this question. I could just say any, and then pout a little bit and look sad with puppy dog eyes and make y'all feel guilty. I could get nostalgic and say League of Legends or Demigod.
Yeah.
Is that even... Are those servers still up?
Like, those stopped when we played it.
Yeah, no, that hasn't been a game for a long time. I could shoot for the moon, knowing that it would never happen. It won't take, but I could try and get Dustin to play Path of Exile 1 or 2.
Bad answer. You know, he would hate it.
I know he never would, but if he didn't make himself hate it, he would actually like it. But instead, I'll settle for something else, and I'll try and correct an injustice and say that if we're all getting together and playing a game, it might as well be Super Smash Brothers, just so that y'all can, I don't know, repent, realize the mistake you made.
On Smash 1? I'm not taking that back.
Yeah. Who would have thought that Kenny would be the Smash defender here amongst us 3?
I'm not playing the first game.
I like the series the least of the 3 of us, but recognize how good and how fun that first one is, especially playing with your buds.
Wow. I will say that I do appreciate that both of you, without question, not even consideration, I don't think you pondered it, answered this as though we were your best friends that you were considering playing a game with.
Wait, are you about to cheat on us with some other scrub?
Absolutely not.
No, it just made me happy.
I just wanted. I like that. For you, it was implied that we're talking about with one another.
Of course, you game with the boys, and the boys never change in your life. Well, it's the same dudes. And
I agree, but some boys in here have other boys that are vets. I had a few thoughts here. One, I've mentioned to you guys a few of these, and we just haven't. Peak. I think it's not Peak anymore, and people wouldn't play it. But that survival climbing game that's like humorous and silly. And
in-game mics, like you fall and it just echoes.
Are you about to play that stupid chameleon game? Because I will quit.
I'm not,
everything.
and I don't know. Oh, you're talking about Gex the Gecko.
No.
That's not multiplayer, Kenny.
That's not it.
I've also mentioned to y'all Deep Rock Galactic, which is an FPS dwarf space miners, but I've also mentioned to you...
I've tried to get you to play that game.
Oh, here we go.
I own it and say that I would love for... I've tried to talk y'all into playing this game.
Okay,
I've
then Nolan is the problem.
Tried to talk to y'all about playing Return to Moria, which is a survival crafting dwarves Lord of the Rings down there, where I think along the way you and your squad develop songs, shanties. I guess, is it shanties if it's on the earth or under it, and that you sing together? Like, why wouldn't we have done that? I
think
don't
they're called
understand.
songs when it's on land, but
Might be.
You know, like I would play those, I would, but I do think it's a little more fun when we play games against random people on the internet. Like Rocket League. I'd play Rocket League with y'all if you wanted to.
That is
He's
not
such
true.
a liar.
I do think I'm banned, but I would make
He's
another
such a
account.
liar.
I am banned. Kenny,
so
you were about
coy.
to say something after I said Return to Moria that started with a T, I think, because your tongue was out.
Yeah, I don't remember, but totally tubular today.
If your tongue was out, it'd be a TH probably. Or Baldur's Gate 3 would be fun. We've talked about that. It
That'd
would be
the best
enjoyable.
probably of all of them, but is the most impossible of all of them.
We would just all need a good 6-month span where we don't have much to do.
Nothing. Like no spouse, no dogs to take care of, barely take care
job.
of yourself. No
Yeah,
job.
just
Yeah.
do that exclusively.
Yeah.
If you really want to play games with your best friends, even though y'all live across the country from one another and are too busy with real life and playing board games in person with other friends, or watching weekly movies at the theater with your wife because you have memberships,
Hey,
you better pick good games, pick good friends, and above all, you better play your cards right. Like in our retro game of the week, Lost Kingdoms. What?
Overview.
From the studio that brought you Tony Hawk, Call of Duty, Guitar Hero, Dark Souls, Sekiro, and Elden Ring comes a brand new game. This is like a 2002 infomercial that knew the future. Comes a brand new action role-playing game, but this time with cards for your GameCube. Lost Kingdoms.
that was a pretty good pitch.
Yeah.
I like your is it called intonation? Inflection? It was good. It was on point.
I don't think we can say inflection on the podcast. This is a PG.
Oh, then I meant intonation.
It was developed by FromSoftware. It was published by Activision. You might have heard those names again because they are powerhouses today. And I'm not joking. Those games that I mentioned came from either FromSoftware or Activision, or FromSoftware and Activision together.
Yeah, when you said Tony Hawk, it threw me off, but I forgot like Activision.
Blizzard. Or
Activision.
whatever.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So now, you probably haven't heard of this game, or you clicked on this podcast because you do know about this game and you're like, why does anybody know about this game? Because like FromSoft is known in recent eras for their Dark Souls or Souls-like games. This is
Absolutely.
not that, but this precedes all of that. And Nolan, you the professional here will have to speak into that, but I think has some of those prototype vibes that we see in Dark Souls. It's not the same gameplay by any means, but it's got some of those eerie, dark vibes.
It feels frummy, though.
It does feel frummy.
Yeah, it feels frummy, and I always think pre-Dark Souls, like Dark Souls 1 FromSoft is very fascinating because they kind of jumped around. There are a few like
Interesting, good
notable
conversation.
games. We played one of them, Kingsfield, and that's the one that everyone like uses to say like, oh, this is early Dark Souls.
Interesting.
But you can kind of see it all throughout their catalog before Dark Souls. So, but I had never heard of this game. Like even being a FromSoft guy, like, and a GameCube guy, I had no clue this game existed.
Yeah, so they started with Kingsfield. It was Kingsfield 1, 2, and 3. Then they did some Armored Core games.
Armored Core,
Yep.
yeah.
Which
They
that
had-
became a big franchise. That was popular.
They
At
had
the
some-
time, that was probably their biggest hit.
other games in there like Shadow Tower, Echo Knight. These are all for the PlayStation, by the way. Then they had one for the Dreamcast. They came back to PlayStation. They did a lot of sequels like Armored Core 2 and Echo Knight 2. So like things were successful. Kingsfield 3 and 4, and then Lost Kingdoms here in 2002 for the GameCube. In fact, it was their first GameCube game, which makes sense because 2002, that's pretty early GameCube life cycle.
Yeah, sure.
I don't really know when that began.
And like the other thing to point out when talking about FromSoft and like their catalog is that Miyazaki, the guy that directs the Souls games, like pretty much all the Souls games with a couple of exceptions, is more responsible for like what we think of in the modern FromSoft Souls era. This predates him. But that actually makes it a little more interesting that you still see some of the like threads. Then, you know, we'll talk about those as we get to them. But yeah.
It is interesting because this is 2002. Dark Souls, the first one. Wait, first one, Demon Souls? Dark Souls?
Demon Souls was the first.
2009, I believe?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was still a minute before they found their new identity.
Sure.
They're still trying to figure this thing out.
Sure. So it's a super interesting study. This game does involve cards, and we'll talk about it. It's a very unique kind of thing. We played a few other games with a card central mechanic.
I remember
don't have the
one.
list. What is it?
And it's because it was terrible.
It's the Harry Potter one?
Yeah, the Harry Potter one. That optional, I think, card system.
That was definitely card system, Kenny.
I guess. I wouldn't say it was a game. I guess that one more than some of the others.
I wouldn't consider it a game?
No, I don't know. I was going to...
Wait, what else?
I don't know, but I feel like there was at least one more.
One of the Castlevania games has a card system. That's the way it like does magic.
Yeah.
Have we played that one?
Don't think we played it. Is that?
No, we have. Yeah.
Oh, it was a GBA one, I think.
I forget, but one of the like relatively popular ones.
Well, as we all know, the only Castlevania games that we played are Castlevania
and I'm not
Symphony of
Googling
the Night,
here.
Circle of the Moon, Shrek Castle at the Castle, 64,
I think
the
it was
original,
Circle of the Moon.
Simon's Quest, and Super Castlevania 4.
I may be
Circle,
misremembering,
right.
but
Wow,
I
good
think
job,
Circle
Kenny.
of the Moon.
There's got to be another card game in there, but I don't know.
I think there are. I think...
I don't know if there was one that is this card game, though. Like,
No.
So centered around deck building and cards themselves.
Yeah. The story here for Lost Kingdoms is, after centuries-long isolation, the 5 kingdoms have now banded together to try and stop the encroachment of this mysterious black fog. Dark Souls.
Yeah. Fog wall.
Kind of.
Fog door.
Armed with only a mysterious glowing rune stone, Princess Katia, the heir to the crown of Alange, sets out on a journey that will determine the fate of the world.
Quick reminder that the New Game Plus podcast is entirely supported by your contributions on Patreon. For as little as $5 a month, you can support your favorite retro gaming podcast and also get really cool perks like early access first plays, 2 entries into Patreon pools, unedited episodes. All kinds of cool stuff is on there. If you want to check it out, all you've got to do is head on over to patreon.com/NGP podcast. We so appreciate your support.
Gameplay.
This game is fully centered around cards. And I said earlier, I don't think we played a game that is a true deck builder because I don't think we have, because I don't think there's a ton of them out there around this time. Kenny's probably going to scoff at that. They probably existed on PC or something.
Yeah. I'm going to take umbrage with some things, but not what you're currently saying.
Okay,
Professor.
okay. And this now every indie game is a deck builder or like a drafting, kind of system. So it was actually kind of cool to play a GameCube game that is based around cards. But this game, it's an RPG, but only in like a technicality, like a presentation maybe. It is not an RPG in the sense of like leveling up and doing all these things. It's very much a deck building card game.
Kind of, but even the card game aspect of it is kind of only halfway there. Your battle system plays more like an action RPG than it does a card game. Again, you're not drafting. There's none of those strategic elements. It doesn't... The main gameplay loop, the active part of it, isn't a card game at all. It's just cards are the equation that it gives you for sort of story reasons and kind of your UI as to how you utilize your powers, your summons,
I
your
oversold
fighting,
it.
You
undersold it.
a little bit, but like, and I know there's a deck you have to build and there's strategic elements there for sort of your limitation on how far you can play. But this one doesn't. When I picture this is a card game, this is not the kind of game that I'm
That's
picturing.
fair. I won't argue with that.
This is a mission-based RPG, another kind of strange and odd thing. So you have an overworld map. I don't know why. You are selecting the only level that is available to you.
And you can't go. Can you go back to them?
Not after you beat it.
So then
after
it's
you
pointless.
beat a stage until the end game.
You can go back to like your little card hut and
You go back to two places.
Yeah.
It doesn't need an overworld map. But you are going to these levels, and they're relatively short levels. Most of them fairly barren. Might have a simple
Super
puzzle
short.
or two. But you are traversing throughout the landscape in the level. Sorry. Let me stop. Before you select the level, you're setting up your deck. So in between levels, you are setting up your deck. You're placing, you can only have a max of 30 cards in your deck. You can have duplicates, of course. I guess you could probably have 30 of the same card. It's probably not a good idea, but you set up your deck for the mission that you're going to take part in. Then you select a mission, and then you go through that stage, random-ish encounters, fight a boss at the end using these cards, which we'll have to talk about what all that looks like, and you accomplish a victory condition, and along that way you are collecting new cards, a variety of ways to do that, adding them to your deck, moving other ones out, and then you're kind of just rinsing and repeating. There are some stages that are optional, some optional quests that you don't have to do. But the story-centric ones, very light story, but kind of take you through a narrative. You're doing a few things. You're following after your father. You're trying to put a stop to this mist, of course. And you're going through as this girl that has the power to use... All of these cards are like monster-based. They all have like a monster's spirit, I guess, attached to them, so that when you use them, that monster is attacking. You, as Katia, do not have the ability to fight. You are using those cards as your fighting method.
Yeah, so it is kind of a marriage of those two systems, action RPG and cards. Like, there's a lot of fusion of mechanics going on here that I like all on their own. So it was really interesting to play a game that like does some light deck drafting, deck building, and then also random encounters like in a turn-based game, but then you're moving around,
right?
But
avoiding
you don't have
enemies.
you're summoning things like Pokemon to fight for you. Like, it's got so many different elements from other games, and it kind of sounds, as I'm saying it out loud, like really ridiculous, and like that doesn't work. But they do it in a way that makes a lot of sense. You have a resource that you're spending, and each card costs a certain amount of resource. It's in the top left. You have 10 of them, or you have
at the beginning.
At the beginning, you have 10 at the beginning, and it's what is it called? Energy, crystals.
No, is it crystals? Your rune stone, but I think it's crystals. And when you hit enemies, or your cards hit enemies, crystals fall out of them, and you have to run around and collect them to be able to use that currency again to be able to.
Wow.
Send out your new card.
Yeah,
you're right. You said the word fusion, and I think it's a fusion bomb. It's so many different components that you've seen in other video games, but rarely together like this, and it makes for a truly unique experience.
The combination is really interesting, and it does sort of have areas that feel like one thing or the other. It's pretty clear, but they make it work for the most part cohesively as a system. There's a few choices they made design-wise that I'm not like a huge fan of, but let's talk about what these cards do when you play them, because there's 3 primary sort of action that your cards are going to do. I don't know why action needed to be emphasized like that. Yeah, it was a
Z
huge
button on the GameCube
it was a
controller.
You have fighting cards, which basically are, I don't know if that's the terminology for them. Dustin's giving me funny looks, but that basically are the same as you having fighting abilities, but it's happening through a card. It's an action that you hit and you like immediately swing out. There's no super elaborate animation. There is an animation, but there's no like delay or cutscene or any of that. And you fight someone. Like
Those
the
are your
card,
weapon cards.
Yeah, your weapon cards. Weapon card, fighting card, it's all the same. You have your summon cards, which bring up a creature. These are,
Pokemon.
correct me, what are they actually called?
Pokemon.
They're called summon cards.
Okay, thank you. And
You're in his head
those
now.
creatures you can put sort of where they're going to be placed, but then once they're out, they function on their own. They have their own AI. They kind of do their own thing actively while things are happening.
And I don't hate
See,
to be this guy. I kind of love to be
this is why you're
this guy.
correcting me, because
Well,
those are the summons.
Those aren't the summons.
But they are. They're the creatures that you summon. The summons aren't summons. The summons are bigger, more elaborate attacks. Yes, the terminology is confusing. Set the record straight.
The summon cards replace Katia for a moment and do something big. I mean, so think like if you're thinking
Final
Final
Fantasy
Fantasy.
summons.
Exactly. It's like your characters disappear for a moment, Ifrit shows up, does an attack, and then your characters are back in place. That is your summon card. And the card that acts independently.
Then you have cards where you actually summon a creature.
Sure, to act independently.
Which is the thing we were clearly trying to say are your independent cards, and
There
they
you
run
go,
around
independent.
as creatures.
The key
I don't want to
word.
use the game's terminology, and
I
they did
do.
not name these things well.
For you not, for like the kind of person you are, I feel like you, here's the thing that's crazy. You are pedantic and you do want rules to be followed, but not if that means you're wrong.
Absolutely.
He's not
Fighting
even
cards,
disputing it.
fighting cards, summon cards, cooler fighting cards.
Sure, I'll give it to you. We'll have fun. No one cares anyways. Yes, those are the 3 primary. There are some other types of cards, and the reality is there are 105 different face cards.
Yes.
And so, but they primarily fall into one of those 3 categories. But on top of that, there's an elemental system. By the way, we've already said it. Whether it's fusion or combination, Kenny used combination, Nolan used fusion. I'll take both. If there's a system in a video game, this game probably has it. So like an element is one of them. So each of these cards, or most of these cards, some of them are neutral, but either have your fire, ice, earth, grass. They're Pokemon, and it's the RPS, rock paper scissors. And so they'll be stronger against certain things. So you've got that going on too.
Okay, if we're being pedantic, let's describe
We're
them
not being
appropriately. There's fire. There's water. There's
See,
no.
wait. If we're being
Trees?
pedantic, your placements right now are wrong of where they are on the.
If
HUD.
we're
Okay,
being
it doesn't
pedantic,
matter.
if we're being pedantic, fire beats wood, beats earth, beats water, and then you've got neutral.
Nolan beats Kenny, Kenny beats Dustin, Dustin beats Nolan.
yes.
That's true.
Like to see that.
In the ring, or in this game.
On the trampoline.
Ooh.
Yeah, those are. Oh, hey, let's do this. I mean, we're not going to go through all the cards, of course, but was there a card that you liked, that you used a lot, that stood out to you for whatever reason?
Yes.
I mean, I say all of those cards, and then the ones I like the best were none of those things. Nolan, you were jumping in with an answer. What were you thinking?
I like all the I like attack cards more than the other types of cards.
Weapon.
Most of them, because
fighting.
it makes you feel like you have you have
a
sword.
weapon. Sure.
And it's kind of foreign to not have that feeling. So I don't remember the name of it, but the one that has just a big sword swing overhead. I think it's the gargoyle one.
It was some kind of knight
Maybe it was the
that also did a big chop.
Yeah, I like those big heavy hits the most, and so that was the main card.
The Dark Raven was probably my favorite of at least the
You
like
cast, is that the
starter.
one that
Yeah,
you
it's
cast
right
out
in
and
front
it
of
hits?
you, and
Yeah.
it just goes straight in front of you, but it's like
Cat,
fast,
just like a caster.
and responsive. Yeah, it feels good. Obviously, healing yourself is great. I love the little fairy that heals you. You need that if you're bad at the game, at least. The card that also like resets some of your other card becomes a super important strategic one that I think is worth calling out, because we said there were 3 kinds. Really, there's 4 if you include like utility type cards of various flavors as well. So I'm shoehorning those in. I don't know if they're my favorites, but they let me talk more about the cards.
I don't know if I had any favorites. I gravitated towards the weapon ones because yes, of course, they let you do have to get in close to the enemy most of the time to be able to use those, so it kind of sets you up in a dangerous way. I also liked, although I didn't find them incredibly powerful, the trap cards, so you can set some cards down, and then when an enemy crosses into that space, it's an attack of some kind. So I got this, I don't remember the exact name of it, maybe Stonehead or something like that, that like is an AoE, like a huge stone head crashes down, and so any enemies in that vicinity will be crushed, and a lot of damage will be distributed there. So there's a lot of variability there. I found myself often, here's the thing, that we haven't even said yet. When you use a card, there's different burn rates. I don't think we get all into that. But after you use a card, the card is out of your deck. One thing that I love and was scared about is it's not permagon. It's just gone for the rest of that stage.
Yeah, I thought it was permagon when I watched your first play. I was like,
yes,
I know. It's going to stress me out. But
I'll never use them.
Oh, that would make me never play the game ever. Like I'd just run around hoarding my cards using to fight.
Well, that's how
enemies.
the Harry Potter game was.
Well, I think I cut it out of the first play, but I was communicating that like if I have a game where I can have 99 potions, I'm gonna have 99 potions just in case I ever need one later. You know, I'm never gonna use it because I'm
there's
gonna
be
at some point.
An enemy later in the game that gets hurt if you throw it at them. So you need 99 of them.
So it's not that, but functionally it still is a kind of looming mechanic. You have a little bit of a resource management sort of meta game going on here where you have to be somewhat efficient with your cards, and by somewhat I mean actually fairly.
Yeah, because there's a boss.
I found I was running out of cards halfway through a boss fight way more frequently than I want
y'all aren't
to
doing
admit.
It right.
I know it's because I had this was like before I got better at using which enemies against which things, but it was very, very frustrating because they don't give you an out for that situation. They give you some outs for other situations, like you run out of your mana.
Bounce.
It's not mana, but you can use your own life to still cast cards, which was a nice sort of fallback on making sure you didn't sort of soft lock yourself out of progress in this fight. But that's not the case with the deck mechanic. If you run out of all of your cards partway through a mission, you're done. And the frustrating thing is they don't even do anything with you there. You're just running around, unable to fight, unable to deal damage, just waiting to die. You just gotta like quit and start over.
Okay, so, but later, and it took so long to tell you this, that you can actually run out of battle. So if you run against the wall long enough, it will give you an option to run out of battle.
What if you don't have a card, though?
Right, because it costs one of your cards at random
burns
to do
one of your
so.
cards.
So I don't know if you don't have any. I think it would probably still let you. I only ran to 0 once. I didn't know that yet, and so I aborted, and I aborted the mission, and it felt bad, but when I realized right after that I'm just right outside and I still had all my cards and I just needed to refresh ones that I got in that stage, add them to my deck, and come in with kind of a new strategy, use cards more wisely, I wasn't
even
too bummed.
keeping my deck topped up. I sometimes found I was in that situation, and I'm sure it's
elements, Kenny, the typing.
Oh, I know it's because I wasn't playing efficiently. But listen, not everyone's great at games, and you need to.
You're good at card games.
Yes.
Yeah, this is not a card game.
What?
This has an underlying card game mechanic that's frustrating in how it's implemented to give you the excuse to play an action RPG.
He's not exploring and getting the cards that are in
I
the
explored
chest
every single chest.
He's using cards too willy-nilly. He's missing all.
He's spamming, and look, and I'll tell you why he's spamming, and it's kind of valid. So you in combat, you're taken into an arena. I think we've said that, and you can leave it, but the control scheme and and combination with the camera
Yeah.
in that arena is not the best. It's
No.
quite clunky, and there's there's trees and rocks and things in the way that you have to
And
account for at times too. And
Your
in fact,
enemy's moving.
your
a
enemy's
lot.
Right.
also moving and attacking you. So like,
Can we pause though real quick there and say that the arena that you're in is the world map around you. So it's not like a random other arena. It is the space around where your character is. But that also means when you're talking about world interactables that sometimes they'll do things like force you to get into a fight so that you can then break things in the
progress.
world to progress or to unlock a puzzle. I thought that was one of the most clever design things they did
Yeah.
with this game. It was
It's fun.
annoying, but it was kind of clever once you figured out that that was the thing you had to do.
it was
Anyways,
something
I'm
for
sorry.
them to make the stage more interesting,
Right.
because otherwise, and I guess we can, once we're done talking about combat, we can talk about the stages and what you're doing.
I
But
mean,
they're
there.
kind of flat. Like,
Oh,
Just walking.
I totally agree. They are all, they feel super vacant, don't they?
Empty.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
and like they do a couple of optional fun things too in a battle. Like, I think there's a couple instances where, like, in the world map, or I say the world map, when you're walking around the stage, you'll see like a chest is blocked by whatever.
Yeah, a
and you're
tree.
like a tree, and you're like, how do I get that? You go into a battle and you can coax the enemy, or you can waste a card to like get to it. And
Yeah.
and I thought that was really cool, and gave you a little bit more to do. And again, back to what Dustin was saying, making sure you're like getting those chests and getting those cards along the way is like really valuable, because the only other thing is at the end of the stage you get to pick from cards, which is fine, but it's random, right? You can get screwed. Like, they don't play into what's happening in your deck. And then the shop at the camp that we've talked about. And I
Yeah.
mean, I was shopping constantly.
Gerd's hut.
Yeah,
Gerd.
Gerd is this
Worst.
ancient woman that, sells new cards to you, also transforms cards. It's a whole nother thing that I think is
Yeah.
interesting.
Evolutions.
Is that, that like each card
Wait, I'm just
can
realizing.
be, once you use them enough in battle and they gain experience, you can turn in that experience and you can copy a card, so you get a duplicate, or you can transform a card. Most of them have multiple levels though, and so level 1 will be 600 experience, but level 2, if you wait, will be 1,000 experience and might be a better card. Level 3 will be 3,000 experience, but might be the best kind of card. And it's not evolution, so it's not like Charmander, Charizard, Charmeleon, Charizard.
Yeah.
That there are other cards that you'll be able to find in the world. It's other enemies that you're fighting. By the way, the enemies that you're fighting are the cards. Like, you can,
I thought that was
most
cool.
of those
Right.
enemies you can end up capturing. There's a capture system. There's a capture system.
There's a capture system. Yep.
No,
They
they
did
don't-
every
miss.
system.
They don't tell you, but if you
Yep.
I do. You can hold the right bumper and press one of your face buttons and take one of your cards away. You don't lose it, but it just replaces it with the next
Right.
card in
Yeah,
your
yeah.
deck, so that you can kind of stay active. If you hold the left bumper, it does a really short toss of whatever face card you press. And if you hit the enemy and they're low enough HP, Pokemon style,
Pokemon.
you
Dude.
capture that, and then it's a card that you can add to your deck, and you can do it there in the stage at one of those deck points. So those deck points heal you, Katia, and they allow you to add any cards that you collected on that map into your deck. So you're not always going into battles by the end of a stage with 30 cards, but you should be
Sure.
going in with enough cards if you're doing things right.
They don't let you save though.
Well,
Saving
okay.
is
They-
only between missions.
You're right. Well, I'm quick saving out of this.
I'm
And that's why also
sure.
at the end of a stage, I'm getting all the cards that I want, Nolan.
Because you just
He just
Why?
saves scums.
Oh,
Just
they're-
quick save.
Because
Yeah.
the cards are, you're only seeing the back of them, and you
Yeah.
select them. They all flip around.
you're
Right.
right.
They're not
Nah.
randomized. Yeah. I want the better one, and you try again. Yeah, because you're that person.
Absolutely.
The final, I think, piece to talk about. So all of these things add up to you scraping by a stage. So either Kenny doesn't have any cards by the end, or you're doing quite well at managing the deck, because you're losing them as you go through. There are boss fights, and they're pretty challenging, I think,
Right.
especially if you don't have, like, if you're not drawing what you want to draw, or if you've built randomly, that can hurt too on the typing aspect of the rock paper scissors. So, but I did like the boss fights because they were vastly different from one another and fit the stage. And yeah, I mean, again, it's something to do in a stage that's otherwise kind of just, you want to talk about a hallway simulator, that's kind of what it is.
They have a lot more HP. They are often larger. Sometimes they have ads. Every once in a while, you'll fight another human summoner, someone like Katia that can cast out cards. So you're not only having to fight those cards that are being cast out or like avoid those traps, but you're having to take out that human that is also using that
PoE Rogue Exiles. I mean, they just did everything.
Yeah, and let's not even talk about fairies.
Everything.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Aged.
We talked about it some, but I think it is fun to look at this game as sort of it's, I don't know, space and FromSoftware's like development as a developer, because you look at their really early stuff and you're like, oh wow, yikes. Nolan, I don't know if you know this. We're talking old lore. I came across this information and just like reading about the history of FromSoftware. But before they were game developers, this was a company that did just like office productivity software or something random. And then they were like, oh, let's try our hand at games. What? I don't know the exact story there. And some of their early games have character, but are very, very different. And so, anyways, this one just plays a really interesting role in kind of their evolution in how they became the powerhouse that they are today.
So when I play Elden Ring, it's just an advanced version of Excel, is what you're telling me.
I think, yeah, maybe a few years removed.
Yeah.
When we played Kingsfield, was it the first one that we played? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was Kingsfield 1. And
was it?
I remember
I was thinking it was
like,
the second one, but I
no, it's the first one. Yeah, it's the first one.
Yeah, and I remember being like, yeah, I can totally see the roots of the Souls franchise or the Souls era of this company. I mean, it was rough. It's old.
Oh, yeah, it's rough. Y'all both gave it a yes, which is crazy. Do you know that it was also an action RPG? So, like, they liked that sphere of gaming, and they just tried to experiment in that as a playground for a long time, it seems. The art here and the graphic, I think it varies, in my opinion. I don't think any of it is exceptional. In fact, the thing that I liked the most was the hand-drawn loading screens. I thought those were very cool, and there's a few of them. I also didn't hate the art design on the cards. Each of these 130 or whatever I said cards have their own unique, and it's gothic. Like it's dark soul, like it's skeletons and it's
dark.
warlocks and it's gothic. But all of that is good. The world itself, however, we talked about the sparseness of it, but it's drab, it's lackluster. I know that's to be expected from a world covered in a black fog, but I think even compared to other GameCube games of its time or PlayStation games of its time, these graphics aren't great.
I agree with your assessment of the graphics completely, because pretty much everything except for the space you're in is pretty cool. I like the heads up display, where it's like the 4 cards in the bottom right.
Buttons? Yeah.
On the face buttons, and then you have your resource and your health and the map. I think all that looks really crisp and GameCube-y. But then, when you're in the space, in the stage, it looks a generation below the GameCube. And maybe that's extreme. But it's not isometric. It's not top-down. It's kind of this somewhere in between thing that we see sometimes. And like it just ended up looking really empty and blocky.
I do agree that, Dustin, some of that may have been on purpose, trying to kind of be dark and bleak and whatever else, but it does make it just feel a little bit lifeless. Agreed, the cards themselves look great, and I also think they did a great job of making sure that there were plenty of animations for all of the various moves. Some of those are fine, some of them aren't special, but like there was a variety of looks to do all of the things. But overall, this isn't a game that you're going to look at and be like, oh man, that thing's stunning. You're going to be like, oh, this kind of fits the world, but like it's not the prettiest thing.
No.
In the same way, I felt like the music was a little bit just sort of generic too. It wasn't or
No, nothing bad. But
it fit the game just fine, but it didn't grab my attention or hook me or make me feel super involved. I just thought it was also all right.
I liked a few of the tracks a lot.
really, like
yeah.
standouts. You had standouts. I didn't have any standouts.
I had standouts. Actually, the second area, no, not the second, the castle, Castle Gray
Maybe
was, I like that track, and there was an early on track too, like kind of in the intro stuff that I really liked. But outside of those two, it wasn't like, it didn't blow me away. Again, like, I think it's funny to compare modern FromSoft to this era because it was just before they had that level of, like, I don't know. I mean, they're one of the big hitters now, and at this time, I don't think they were. So, music's okay.
Did you know that there's multiplayer?
No,
I did. Yeah, there's a 2-player like duel each other version.
Oh,
You each draft your own decks, and you come into an arena and fight each other.
that's great. What?
With changes to the rule set to make it a little more fair,
Sure.
and like taking out some of the healing items and taking out some of the card reset items so that it's a little bit more strategic and competitive. But it's something
I like that a lot.
they shipped and wanted you to do.
And it's not very feasible to do today.
No.
Sure.
No, and even then, like, it's probably local only, right? I don't think
Yeah.
you could have done that online with the GameCube. That's cool though. I like that
cool
that's in
idea.
the game, but yeah, there would be no way for us to experience that.
Even cooler would have been co-op, where you're going through the world together, twin princess sisters with your card decks. I don't know how that would have worked, but
The one other thing I wanted to say is that for I mean, they call it an RPG, but it's whatever we've called it. It's so short. It is like
6 hours.
6 hours is officially on how long to beat.
6 hours is just the story.
crazy.
I think if you want to complete it fully, 9.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Still
Sub
very
10, dude?
Sure.
So it's
Very
that
short.
kind of game where I mean, I think that was by design. I don't think there's like a lack of content. That's not what I'm getting at. I just think it's very fascinating that a fantasy GameCube game is that short.
Yeah, but when they're doing something so unique and different, they're not maybe having the same expectations of other RPGs of the time and era. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's not story focused. I mean, there's a story.
It's
but
definitely not story focused.
whatever.
Right. This is more an action adventure in terms of that piece of it.
It really is
than
an
it
action adventure.
You know,
it
there's
feels like that.
RPG elements, there's card elements, whatever else, but like that's it.
It does have a sequel, Lost Kingdoms 2, released in 2003, the very next year for the GameCube, and it takes place a generation after the events of Lost Kingdoms.
Oh, continuation. Okay. Cool.
And what I've heard just from some community members this week is that a lot of the things that you might find a little bit unpolished or unrefined or lacking in Lost Kingdoms, the developers knew, corrected, adjusted, and okay, Kenny wants us to say sequels are better.
I didn't say anything. All I did was tap my forehead
Right.
and look at you with an implication.
Hey, you love to see it though. An improved sequel. I'll take it.
If you want Lost Kingdoms for your Nintendo GameCube, it's going to be
GameCube.
$30 loose, $56 complete in box, or $196 new.
Honestly,
Few of these games, I expected more.
yeah, cheap for a GameCube game these days, if I'm being honest.
Did you know they made a trading card game and like a game that you could play with all of these with this deck?
Like
They
actual
would.
cards, like packs?
Yep,
Great.
I made that up.
You liar! I hate you.
Final thoughts.
At the end of each and every one of our episodes, we determine whether or not the game gets our vote for New Game Plus status, which is our general thumbs up or thumbs down. It does require 2/3 of the vote to swing one way or the other. Kenny, what are your final thoughts on the video game Lost Kingdoms?
In many ways, this game
July.
feels like it was made for me. cards, RPG elements, rock, paper, scissors strategy, interesting kinds of things that feel like they're right up my wheelhouse, which makes it crazy that I bounced off of this game so hard. I really, really wanted to like it.
Whoa.
Maybe it was that I was bad at the game and it was some of those really obnoxious sort of punishing failures, and I certainly got a little bit better, but like maybe that's the problem. Maybe it was the perceived grind to get the cards that you wanted, because if I'm going to play a game like this, I don't want to just play through the game. I want to make the exact deck and upgrade all the cards and do all of the things, and that feels very chore-ish in this game, though you don't have to do that to just get through the game. Maybe it was slightly clunky mechanics. Maybe I'm just getting old and real-time decision-making stresses me out too hard. I don't know. But I felt like this game should be something I loved, and I couldn't get there. It looks fine. It sounds fine. The premise is good, even if it leans a bit sort of Yu-Gi-Oh! For my taste. Like, calm down a little bit with the cards. But every time I played, I walked away feeling more frustrated than entertained.
Get good.
So, yeah, I mean, that's the problem. Get GERD. No NGP.
Bad.
No.
No NGP, but I wish I could. It was cool to see the early FromSoftware sort of origins, and I know this is probably a me issue here because there is lots to like here, but it is certainly an imperfect game, and there are some frustrations and foibles, and that's all. I'm done ranting.
Aesops. I will go next and say, where Kenny likes to surgically create a certain build and deck, I get that, and I enjoy that too. A lot of games allow you to do that. Slay the Spire is a great option if you want to do that. This game isn't that. You could go for a certain build, of course you can. I don't know how deep that the mechanics of, like, if you have like an attack heavy deck versus a more spread out one. I don't know the meta, and I don't know if there is a meta to even like talk about in a game like this, because again, it's single player. I know there's multiplayer, but it's like, okay, so that aspect you can't really achieve, but what you can is it's a quick hit, it's a shorter game, and I do really enjoy the drafting aspect of the game, in the sense that, like, you kind of react to the cards that you're given, and I like that they get taken from you in the stage. I think all that's really interesting. I really liked this game. I had a lot of fun with it, and maybe it's just because it's GameCube and FromSoft, but I don't care. The issues that I have with the stages, I can get over pretty easily because it's short and because the game's not asking you to do something stupid, and I don't think it's too difficult, which is what I thought would be the case for a card action RPG game going into it. So I'm going to give it New Game Plus.
That's one no and one yes. And here's the reality, and I've written it in my notes. I'm so torn on this one. There's so many different mechanics that it's annoying, but I really enjoyed trying to craft that deck. And you can have multiple decks, and you can name your decks. Mine was named Squad. And you can name your decks, and before you go into a level, you can see what kind of elements you might be facing, and so you can choose your deck accordingly. Like, there's a lot of things here. It's thought out. They went in, and they were really trying to do something here. But on the other hand, it feels unfinished. It feels like a prototype to me. It feels like here's a lot of ideas, and we didn't have time to really complete it. The world doesn't feel complete. All of the environments and areas feel very just like bland. Here's the thing. I had a lot more fun earlier in the week when I was figuring out this game and exploring and learning the systems. But the more that I played, it's a short game, but the more that I played and started doing the same, it became repetitive, and the levels weren't unique or different enough to really give me any new kind of flair. It was somewhat vapid. All of this was almost there. So creative. Which lends me to think that Lost Kingdoms 2 is going to be a banger. But this one, while it was almost there, didn't quite do it for me. And so I'm also going to say no New Game Plus status.
You are continuing your no streak.
And I didn't want to. When I started this week, I thought,
Whoa.
we're going a different direction. But the more that I played, I landed there.
Okay, I've heard in Discord, Summer of Cult Classic, this would have lined up. I think it's Dustin no.
I don't want that to be the case.
I don't either, but I think it's Dustin no.
This does make 4 games straight that I've said no, and I don't.
Dude,
That's not fun.
I mean, but you had fun, kinda.
Here's the truth. Out of
That's
the last
interesting.
4, this one I had the most fun with for sure, and it's so unique. And I think some people, like, there will be a few people that like love this game.
I want to play the
Here's the
second
thing.
one.
It gave me some of the same feelings that some of those other really weird titles that we played over the last year or so has. What's that really weird one? Please help me out. Was it Dreamcast or something like that? Where and Nolan, you played it on a different console, and it was weird, and it was like
You got to give us more than just the
it's
word
gothic,
weird.
and it
It's
was
gothic,
like it was on PS2.
and you're running down the dungeon like
It was on Sega Saturn.
or down the tower. Come on, guys.
It's
we're
like
bad.
a G word, and it's like one word, and it means something else.
Baroque.
Baroque.
Yeah.
It's a B word. I told
G
you.
and
that.
B are buddies.
That game, it gave me some of the same kind of feelings. Maybe some of the vibes, but some of the feelings of like there's some unique and weird systems here.
Lovecraftian.
Yeah. But not only that, like some of the systems that are just weird, but as you try to figure out, it's kind of like putting a puzzle together. So there's some feelings of success with that. But at the end of the day, there's 2 no's, 1 yes, which means still in this summer pool party, it means that Lost Kingdoms is not New Game Plus certified. But what did you think? On our YouTube poll, 17% said yes, it's worth playing today. 4% said no, go play something else, and 79% have never played it before. Little surprise.
I feel like that's an actual kind of predictable spread. I think the gap between yes and no in my mind probably would have been a little tighter if I had to guess. But I feel like people who know of this game would tend to like it.
Interesting. And I did say little surprise, as in there's little surprise there. So I think we were in agreement there.
Yeah, we are in agreement there.
And it is just you and I because Nolan is off celebrating the 250th birthday of our country.
Yeah, apparently we don't like America, and he does.
Amen. A lot of you played along with us, sent in your thoughts on the Retro Game of the Week. Garlisle said, Lost Kingdoms is aggressively just fine. The core mechanic and game loop is distinct and interesting and fairly fun. It's the everything else that's kind of just there. Not bad, but also too bland to inspire love or excitement either. I could see where a player falls in love with this if they really jibe with the system, but it's not me this time.
I think that's fair.
Garlisle's from Canada.
Okay, so he dislikes the game because it's the 4th of July? I don't know. We're not beating this horse the whole time.
Evolution of Player 2 said, been playing for a few years, almost caught up with all back episodes to the point I started. My first episode was 364, which was Earthworm Jim Redux.
Oh, welcome.
Yet, somehow, this is the first time I have played along. Or been listening for a few years, first time to play along. It was just too intriguing of a concept not to try out, and I had time. I really liked this era. I loved when cards are involved. I think that this game is unique enough that although everyone won't like it, everyone should try it and experience a different type of game. It's not perfect, but I enjoyed it. I'll have to keep trying to play along more. NGP for me.
By all means, keep playing along. We love that. Yeah, that's the most fun thing you can possibly do. I like that take. It's nuanced, like imperfect game, but like I think sometimes it's okay to say, even though this game isn't great, it's worth checking out just to like be aware of it. And so I don't mind that as a take.
It's that kind of sentiment that makes me really think I might really like Lost Kingdoms 2.
The second one, yeah.
Because again, some of these systems were super intriguing to me, but
flesh them
needed
out
little
just
bit
a
more.
little, refine them just a little, take the whole thing and just tighten it up just a little bit. Yeah.
Larva said, "This is a weird game, and as any weird game, it's always worth giving it a try to see if it clicks. As for me, I really dig this game. It takes some time getting used to the mechanics, but once you get a feel for it, it's a fun deck builder action game. I really dig the whole card types. It makes your deck feel a little more personal by battling how you want to. Do you want a deck full of cards that become normal attacks, or one of minions that do the work for you, or do you just want to stay protected? Or do you want to one-shot enemies with strong one-time summons? It's a lot of fun. Just wish it was much easier to get the card to fully allow that expression. This game is absolutely worth a go. It's not overly punishing. It's interesting with its mechanics and short. Absolutely no brainer if it piques your interest."
Yeah.
Saying it's a no-brainer, and then we're the two guys that said no.
That didn't like it. Yeah. Or we didn't dislike it. We just said no NGP. There's a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. And then finally, Jake said, "I cannot believe this was randomly pulled this week. I spent years submitting this to every Patreon pool until like last summer. Lost Kingdoms is a unique and pretty solid GameCube title. The gameplay isn't perfect. It can be infuriating when carefully planned spells miss or independents get stuck behind walls. Some hitboxes are jank. Using cards to catch monsters almost always leads to many wasted cards. But there's a lot to love here. Melding trading cards with RPG mechanics and real-time movement is a pretty novel concept I haven't experienced elsewhere in games. It makes me miss the era of games where devs could risk a 7 out of 10 game if it tried something fresh. Special shout out to the soundtrack, which I think is pretty good. Overall, I'm willing to admit this is probably an 8 out of 10 rather than a 10 out of 10 that it holds in my heart, but I think this is a fantastic, lesser known title, well worth trying today. NGP for sure."
I love when the randomizer just like looks down on someone and is just like, "Here you go." Or was this a selection?
No, random.
That's what I thought. I thought we were on a random week. I get confused sometimes in the summer because we're on again, off again, on again, off again.
And it's happened before, but it is rare.
Yeah, so rare. And I love that all of that time of submitting this game, hoping that we play it, and then we just get it on a whim.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
So good.
Happy 4th of July.
You can send in your thoughts on the retro game of the week each and every week to ngppodcast@gmail.com, or do what everyone else does and hop into our Discord. We've got a commentary channel there. We'd love to feature your thoughts as a part of our episode next week. For now, we're going to set aside Lost Kingdoms, but we are not going to randomly select the next retro game of the week because it is time, once again, for a Patreon poll!
This time I put on the little squeezy nose plug.
You would!
Instead of sunscreen, because we're getting under the water this week. I'm just telling you, it's an underwater kind of week. We're swimming.
I was about to say, how does that, like...
I'm telling you, we're swimming.
But you pitched it in a way that replaces sunscreen. I think you still need sunscreen under the water.
No. You get deep enough under the water, and the sun's not going to burn you anymore.
All right. Well, Kenny's got the nose thing on. I've got floaties. I'm not going to be able to go very deep. But Stats by Shane.
The
PlayStation 2 is at the top, followed by the PC, the PlayStation 1, and then the Super Nintendo is up there with a good amount of entries.
Okay, I could see some Super Nintendo being fun.
I think a lot of people are trying to do different things, still trying to determine, we're halfway through, what this summer is going to be. I've heard a few things, like maybe Summer of Cult Classics. I'm still seeing Summer of Dust and No float around.
You're allowed to not like the games as long as I still can, so...
That's fine. I want to like the games. I believe I'm probably going to like this next one. At the top, we've got games like Shadow Man 64 and Ogre Battle 64. Both, Can you guess what console that's for?
Super Nintendo.
Right. We've got Castlevania Aria of Sorrow, which I would die for.
Yep.
We've got Secret of Mana, and at the very top, Donkey Kong Country.
Okay, that'd be great.
We've got a few other many other entries. Flumbus submitted Cave Story. Ivan Blues and Big Dude submitted Fatal Frame 2. It's a survival horror game, Kenny.
I don't know if I can handle it.
Tibbs and Brandon submitted The Legend of Zelda, the first, which, by the way, unless I'm blind, which is fine, if you're blind out there.
If you're blind, that's fine. Yeah.
I don't think it's officially on the Retro Master list. I looked and could not find The Legend of Zelda anywhere.
Well, sure, but we're not going to, not take a
course.
game suggestion. That's a great. This is a suggestion plus a contribution to the master list at the same time.
But how is it not on the master
I
list
don't know
is what I'm saying.
The fact that it's just so default that no one's even thought to include it.
Right. It's crazy.
Wild.
All those games and more. Randomizing now. Hey, Kenny.
Hi.
Hey, Nolan.
Hey.
Really?
That's how he sounds.
How many people submitted this game?
9 of them.
1.
Always. I don't know why
How many-
I even guess.
Here's the thing that's even crazier. A lot of people submit the same game twice.
Sure,
if
because
they
you've got
are
2 entries, but this
Yeah.
is a true one-off.
This is a one person submitting the game one time.
Yep.
And it is
such is how it goes.
different than any game that we played in the summer pool party so far, but it is, I think, similar to a game that we played somewhat recently on the podcast.
Okay.
It's a game that was developed and published by Nintendo for the Nintendo DS.
A Nintendo DS game. Okay.
It is a rhythm game.
A rhythm game.
Yep.
All right. That's a different direction for this summer.
It is the second game in its series.
Good sign.
It is a collection of rhythm minigames that challenges players to follow the rhythm mainly through audio cues until the end of the game, where they are given a rating based on their performance. Unlike its predecessor, which is played pressing buttons, this one involves the touchscreen and the stylus.
Okay.
We played one very like this, very recently. It was submitted by Miss Muso. The game that we're playing for the next 7 days is Rhythm Heaven.
Rhythm Heaven. Okay.
It's got a few different names in the PAL regions. Rhythm Paradise in South Korea, if we got any listeners out there, Rhythm World, but Rhythm Heaven is the game that we're going to be playing for the next 7 days. I feel like Miss Muso has been super. I don't know if it's lucky. I don't know if she cheated and got 2 episodes, director episodes, or maybe it's both. But that's another Miss Muso game.
Yeah. Crazy luck, but sounds fun and different and interesting, and I've got rhythm, so
I guess you do, huh?
I do. Yeah.
But do you have it in the tap? We'll find out this week. Find a copy of Rhythm Heaven, played along with us for the next 7 days. And if you'd like to be a part of the conversation about this game or a lot of other topics, join us in our Discord, discord.gg/NGP podcast.
If you're super excited about the fact that we get to play Rhythm Heaven this week, or think you've got a better game suggestion and want to have your voice be heard, you can join us for the summer pool party by supporting your favorite retro gaming podcast on patreon.com. You'll be joining many new patrons this week, folks who decided for the first time to hop on and be a part of this thing. So thank you for your votes of confidence, for joining in all the fun summer activities. So we want to say thank you to our newest patrons, Will, Jonathan, Always Confuzzed, Ivan Blues, Electro Pirate, Ryan, Paul D, and his son. Thanks for the kind message this week. Unbelievable, who is joining us at the director level now.
Big if true.
Super hyped. And we've got one more director coming down the pipeline. So Super Oats will also be joining us for a director episode here in the somewhat near future. Thank you guys for your support. And for those of you who already supported us, including our current directors, Sasser Siegfried and Prototype Keo, and to our many, many producer level supporters as well. This is a mouthful, and it's literally such an honor that y'all support us and what we do, and we're so grateful, including the following people. Here we go. Alex Antonin, Artemis Chuck, Austin Scott, Band Nerd, Ben Bro, Jim Champagne Vinaigrette, Craig Dagney, Easy Mode Alex, Flombus, Garlisle, Harold, Hey Brother, Infinite Knife, J. Robert, Jake, Justin, Justified 01, Caldaka, Clint, Levi, Maximum, Megatron, Miss Muso, shout out, Mystic, Not Enough Dog, Pork Rub, Retro Alex, Sagen, Scotty, Shadow Blaze 511, Shane, Shauna, Snake Matic, Spinny the Jet, Swaggy, Taco Fish, Psycho Manus, Tibbs, Tim of the T, Tyler, Unbelievable, William Main, Zachary, Zecal, and Zion. We're truly grateful for y'all. And This is not an exclusive club. Any of you who want to join in, support what we do, be a part of this community, play along, shoot us a few bucks on Patreon. We're truly, truly grateful.
Patreon.com/NGP podcast for more. And you can find us on all of our social medias, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Links are in the show notes. Listen directly on any podcast provider of your choice. While you're at it, please leave a kind rating and review. Subscribe so that you are the first to get new NGP episodes. Our episode artwork was created by our friend Dave. Video episode edited by our friend Dylan. Our audio episode was edited and produced by our friend Dan Willett. Join us next week as we play Rhythm Heaven. Until then, I'm still lost.
I'm still found.
Could have been. And Nolan
is Kingdoms.
Okay, there we go. And this has been New Game Plus.